creepily possible that you could lower the consciousness of a human
Yeah.
down to something that just basically eats, chews, swallows.
What's up, Flick Connection? With me in the studio today, I've got Mike Cunningham, who is an actual scientist. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I do mostly chemistry, natural product chemistry. I have a master's in pharmacognosy, which is natural products related, and I'm working on my PhD in medicinal chemistry right now, and that is sort of leaning towards some natural products. Organic synthesis, isolation, trying to figure out what small molecules are if you don't know already, and if you do, maybe trying to either make those or figure out how they create some effect on the body. The stuff I'm working with right now all seems to be toxins, killing things, so ideally I'd like to be making some medicines, but sometimes that process involves finding out what makes something deadly or toxic,
Okay.
and then figuring out how to reverse it or something like that.
Okay. Well, that'll be perfect because today we're going to talk about some, not necessarily movie myths, but we're going to talk about some science from popular movies, and you're going to kind of help us either debunk them or confirm them.
It's a big responsibility.
Let's just jump into it and do a big one, and start off with Alien.
Ooh,
So,
good.
acid for blood.
God. That crap's gonna eat through the hull.
Is that possible in an organic? I guess I'll leave the question pretty open-ended.
Yeah, I think so. I always felt like that was something, because that's one, I don't know all the movies you're going to ask me about, but I've seen Alien, of course,
Yeah.
and it got the acid blood. It's acid saliva, too?
Yeah, it's
Right?
definitely
Both.
saliva, but
So their whole body is operating at some...
their bodily fluids
At-
can eat metal.
It's
At least,
caustic,
it's-
and we don't know... I guess they say it's acidic, because it could be strongly basic, too.
yeah, they might not even say. I don't know if they do say, but it definitely, they show it eat through the floor and then down through like the next, like it eats through multiple
Yeah.
layers.
Probably acidic, and that to me rings like it's totally possible, because if there was some life form as complex as humans, which of course aliens are, they might be similar to us but be operating outside of our pH range.
Right.
Just a little bit, and that could to us seem like a lot, and their blood and saliva could be highly caustic, and that seems like something that just seems like that was cool because it could happen.
And what would have to happen to make that work? Is it would like the circulatory system have to have a certain pH balance to allow for that?
It could be that. I mean, they could even perspire at a different pH, but the root cause of that was that it would probably be the oxidation system of whatever planet they've adapted and evolved on was a little bit different, so they would have to be... Their biochemistry would be operating just at a different pH. It could be a totally emergent thing that wouldn't be special. It'd be just normal.
Okay,
You know,
that's crazy.
You could imagine lots of different alien species that all have different pHs, but they just happen to be in a harsh environment, and just to be able to breathe, they don't have as much oxygen, and there's different oxidative features of their biochemistry, and yeah, it could totally make sense.
Molecular acid.
Must be using it for blood.
It's got a wonderful defense mechanism. You don't dare kill it.
Terminator, a organic flesh over a metal endoskeleton.
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
I think that could be possible. I mean, it's well known now that people have rejection problems with transplants, or they're getting organic materials, organs, etc. from other humans, I would imagine, or I've heard that people they get a hip replacement, and it's very common, knee replacements, to have infections and things like that, and those are inorganic, often metals. I guess now they make them some with there's probably ceramics and polymers in there, but it's such a different environment for our living tissue, what we think of as now. But that living tissue, what we're learning now with molecular biology, is we're deprogramming a lot of the elements of the immune system. So we can scale a lot of that back, and then maybe, it could be okay. So how far in the future?
That's irrelevant, because then it's artificial intelligence that created it. So their timeline of discovery is way different. So is infection
can exponentially?
Yeah. So if solving the problem of infection, if that were to take place, then it's more plausible.
Really, you're just freaking me out right now, because every time I really think about Terminator and remember the movie, I'm like, oh shit, that's happening.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck.
So as soon
Skynet is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who sent you?
You did. 35 years from now, you reprogrammed me to be your protector here, in this time.
This is deep.
Jurassic Park. Can they get DNA out of... The story is they get the DNA out of blood, out of a fossilized prehistoric mosquito.
Yeah.
Can they get DNA?
Using sophisticated techniques, they extract the preserved blood from the mosquito and, bingo, dino DNA.
I think that's happened. I'm almost certain they've got it from woolly mammoths. Of course, that's way
That's a
later.
big time difference,
That's a big time difference. They've gotten partial DNA, so...
Now, is half...
Okay, the integrity of DNA to make an actual dinosaur, I doubt it.
Yeah.
I'll put it there.
Okay. So false.
False. I think so. They're having enough good DNA, but with enough samples, they could fill in the blanks. That's my side note.
Now, we can make a baby dinosaur.
Every zombie movie ever. Go. Now. So, so a virus, two things, 2 points. The first one is, obviously a virus that spreads from saliva and blood is a thing that happens, so that's doable. So, true. Number 2,
like rabies.
How fast could something possibly change the behavior, I guess I'll say, of the host?
Devil is amongst us. Stay back, boy. This calls for divine intervention.
At any level, like even just mildly, your brain. How fast is something like that going to affect the brain?
You'd probably want to look at toxoplasmosis, which is a larger parasite, and rabies.
Yeah.
You always think of when you're a kid, and that's a virus. And I don't know how fast those behavioral changes come on. Yeah, I couldn't say offhand how fast that happens, but I do think it's creepily possible that you could lower the consciousness of a human down to something that just basically eats, chews, swallows, gets energy in itself, and looks around and finds more things to chew, eat, swallow.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at cordyceps mushrooms, they can take control of caterpillars and ants and wasps, and they make them... These ants, you see them on planet Earth, they crawl up to the top of a plant or a leaf just to have a better access point to release their spores.
Yeah.
And somehow they're able to encode what seems like a complex behavior. It's really not when you think about it. Just walk up, stop, and die. That's all you have to do. It can be just as easy to program chew, eat, because that's a more normal thing. Just chew, eat, and what if they shut... It's not even like making you do something. You just shut down every process in your body
Except
crawl, eat, and chew.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't take a lot of energy. All you're doing is collecting energy. I think zombies.
But you're talking about...
Zombies are strangely possible.
But you're talking about spores. That would be different than a virus.
It could be anything.
It could be
anything because, again, the basic process that would have to happen is really simple.
Is it more plausible for spores? Maybe?
Spores make sense. Anything that could somehow be replicating in a host to make them be able to then communicate it to somebody else. If it was somebody contaminating the water supply with a chemical or a drug that makes somebody lose their minds, that's one thing, but how does it get carried on and propagate?
Yeah. Spores are a little creepier to me because, like, you feel like if you could potentially defend yourself from, like, human beings that are trying to eat you, but, like, a spore floating through the air and finding its way into your lungs.
I kick ass for the Lord!
Okay, we're getting away from biology a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
This one just bothers me because the whole movie bothers me. Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
He climbs into a refrigerator that says it's lead lined. They do a close up of the label, and he's on a nuclear testing site. Bomb goes off, fridge goes flying, he lands. At the very least, I thought he would have been like meat pudding in that thing, just from it launching him and landing, but a lead-lined refrigerator from like the 60s, is that going to hold up to a nuclear test?
There's a lot of problems with that. Just in my head, it hurts.
Yeah.
And he would be meat pudding.
Yeah, because
he would be, even if, if you're going to wear clothes, it's going to be hot. It's going to be real hot. He's going to be like cooked meat pudding.
And it threw him... Yeah, I don't even know why I asked this one. It threw him safe...
That's good. I've never seen him. I was on the fence about that movie, and since I've heard that...
It launched
it's
him...
It's not even a spoiler, it's a warning.
No, but it launched him safe of, like, the blast zone. Like, he landed and he was okay.
Mm-mm. All right. That doesn't feel good.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Mad Max, Road Warrior. He's basically living off of dog food. I mean, I'm sure he eats occasional lizard or something,
cucumber.
But he's just eating. He's just eating dog food. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you could eat. I feel like you could eat dog food without getting sick and throwing it back up. But is there enough nutrition in that to sustain a human? Is our biology that different from dogs?
Probably vitamins. I would think micronutrients. We would have some issues. So that would probably be the big market in Mad Max is like, getting your vitamin B's and C's and whatnot, your minerals. But dog food, as far as your macros, to like give you calories, give you just something to work with, that would probably work.
Okay.
Get some dried dog food. It would last forever.
Yeah, it's canned dog food.
It has a ton of...
he's eating canned. It's canned, so it's wet, but it's canned, and he's opening up the can.
But yeah, if the cans are closed and not compromised... I say cans are good. I think dry dog food will work too.
Yeah.
For a long time, but those veggies got to be hot.
Well, nothing grows in the desert wasteland, so...
They would be like gold. Any sort of vitamins or vegetables.
I'm sure someone would have figured out how to cultivate soil.
Something like that. I mean, you don't want to get me into The Martian.
We can get into The Martian.
It hurt me the way he tried to cultivate things in that little house of his. He throws down like a tarp and just like throws dirt on top of it. It was so janky.
It was only potatoes he was growing though. Are they maybe...
Potatoes are hardy. I forgot.
Yeah.
If it was only potatoes, they're hardy.
Yeah.
I've never grown potatoes. I don't know, but I thought his whole setup was janky. And it made me mad because everyone was so impressed that I was like, this seems kind of... I don't know. But I will say dog food in the desert sounds better than potatoes on Mars.
On Mars. Okay, good to know. The Matrix.
Yeah.
Is it plausible? This is
These questions keep getting like,
Yeah.
what?
Is it plausible that the machines would be able to harvest a reasonable amount? I don't even know what a reasonable amount is, but a reasonable amount of energy by incubating fully developed human beings.
The human body generates more bioelectricity than a 120-volt battery and over 25,000 BTUs of body heat.
That idea always came off as very dumb.
Okay.
Is like why would machines care? Okay, and you gotta take me back. Was the sun blotted out?
The sun's blotted out. So
okay. Reminded me.
Yeah, so humans use nukes to try to destroy the machines, and the sun's in like the Earth's in like a nuclear winter.
Okay. Shit.
Full Earth nuclear winter.
But I feel like there would still be wind. There's still water. There's so many. They could engineer nuclear power. They could, if they were like a smart artificial intelligence, they could probably work out fusion, cold fusion.
Yeah.
Have plenty of energy.
Now, I think they do come back in the sequels and sort of explain why they're keeping humans alive. There's another reason.
Sorry.
But let's just take...
I remember all that. I've seen...
But let's just take the Matrix itself that introduces the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of effort.
It always seemed like they would be losing energetically. Like, if you looked at the inputs and the outputs, you're like, you're dealing with humans?
Yeah.
Like, I would just kill somebody.
It seems like you could just use human... If you're growing humans, because they're growing them on like a farm, if you're growing them, it seems like you just use them as firewood more efficiently.
You use them as firewood? Like, why does their consciousness have to exist? Why couldn't they engineer them to just be like energy generating machines?
They might have explained that too.
In order to change a human being into this.
Alright, if you like this video, please let us know by clicking the like button. Let us know what you thought about some of these. If you think Mike is out of his mind and he's dead wrong about any of this, let us know in the comments. Subscribe, and thanks for watching.